Hey, welcome to National Scrapbook Day 2025, and I'm going to be teaching you how to make this file folder album from start to finish. It is a pretty simple folio to construct, and it will probably hold around over 50 photos. I haven't counted it yet, but it does measure 6.5 by 9, and it only uses 6 file folders. Okay, and my file folders are 11 and 5/8 by 9.5 with a 1/3 quarter cut, 1/3 cut, and they're 11 point file folder. Okay, so yes, I'm going to be teaching you from start to finish. So let's look at this just here real quick, show you what we're going to be making. Okay, and I just had this ribbon as a closure. There's the back. I did use cardstock here to reinforce the spines of the album. You could also use colored tie-back to put on your spines to make it more sturdier, and I've showed you how to do that before. Okay, so it opens up, and then you have this pocket here. Okay, just a little booklet from the leftover pieces, and then this opens up, and you have a little pocket here, and then that flips open. Then you have a pocket here. It's a double pocket, and then you have a pocket here with a couple of pull-outs. Okay, pretty cute album. And then that opens, and that opens. Okay, and then this side opens up, and you have a pocket here. Okay, and then you have a little waterfall here. And I used the winter collection from Simple Stories. I think it's a couple years old. And I didn't use any of the winter paper. I just used the pinks and the blues, but I didn't use any of the winter paper to create this. And then that just closes. And then that just comes around, and that's the closure of the album. Okay, so that's what we're going to be making today. So let's get started. All right, so you're going to need 6 file folders. Okay, and 5 top or bottom and 1 middle file folder. And again, they're 11 5/8 by 9.5, 9.5 from the tab to the natural fold line. Okay. All right. So I have 2 bottoms, 2 tops, and a middle. I guess I have 3 tops and a middle and 2 bottoms. Okay. So it doesn't matter, 5 top or bottom and 1 middle file folder. Okay. And mine are 11 points. You can purchase the tutorial if you would like the tutorial. Okay, so 2025. I will put the link down below in the description box. Just click the more button. Okay, and you get a bonus album when you purchase this. Okay, and it's another file folder album, but it's designed differently. Okay, so there's the cover that opens up. You have a double pocket here that opens up, and you have a pocket here as a flip, flip, and then you have pocket here and a pocket here, and then a pocket on the inside. Okay, so you will get both the albums, and this is just $8. Okay, just $8. But like I said, I would put the link down below. Now on Facebook, I'm doing my flower shop binder album, and I am going to combine Okay. So you can get both the file folder albums for $8, or you can get all 3 projects. This is our National Scrapbook Day project for Facebook. For $14.99, you get all 3 projects. And this is a 6x8 binder album. I will put the link down below because I done a final review of it. So you get this as well. Okay. And I'll put the links down below in the comments, okay? All right. Let's get to work. Okay. So I'm going to grab, not my middle one. I'm going to grab a top one, okay? Now the first thing I do is where this folder starts to round off, and which is about 3/8 of an inch. I'm going to cut that off about where that starts to round. Okay, so I'm going to cut that off. Okay, and save your pieces because some of the pieces we will use in the album. Okay, so then what I do is I flip it, and now I'm going to cut this down to 9 inches. Okay, 9 inches. All right. So now we have this aspect. Okay, the 3/4, these file folders have your natural fold, and then it has 3 score lines. So actually you have 3/4. So that is the spine of our album. So I'm going to fold on that. And when I fold on it, I want it to line up. Okay. That's going to be our spine of our album. Okay, that is our spine. So now what we need to do is cut these off. So let me get, okay. So now what you're going to do is you're going to put it back in its natural folded state. Okay. What we're going to do is from the natural fold, we're going to cut it 6.5 inches. So from the natural fold of the album, we're going to cut this at 6.5 inches. All right. I just wanted to, okay. I wanted to double check I was on the natural fold. So I'm going to cut this at 6.5. Okay. Save these pieces because we will use them. Okay. So now this is piece A. Okay. So you have your front cover is just a little bit shorter. All right. So this is piece A. Okay, so set that right there. Now we're going to do piece B. Okay, piece B can be a top or a bottom. It doesn't matter. So what I'm going to do is where this starts to round off, I'm going to cut this off. You can throw these pieces away. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it, and I'm going to cut it at 9 inches. Okay, 9 inches. And then cut that off. Okay. Now we're going to open it up. Okay, you're going to open it up from the natural fold of the file folder on the tab side. And this is what I consider a long tab side. This is a short tab side. So when I'm referring to tabs, this is a tab side. This is the long tab side. Okay. So from the natural fold line on the tab side, cut at 6.5 inches from the tab side. Okay, so we're going to cut at 6.5 inches. So how I do that, the natural fold, I'm going to put at 6.5 inches. Okay. And cut it off. Okay. Now from the other side, cut from the last, you're going to cut from the last score line. Here's our natural fold. And then we have these 3 score lines right here. From this last score line, we're going to cut it 5 1/4. Okay, so I'm going to line up my last score line at 5 1/4. Okay, and cut that off. All right. So this is piece B. Okay, this is piece B. Okay, so this is piece B. Now, what you're going to do, we're going to score another extra score line. Okay, so this is your 6 1/2 inch side. This is your 5 1/4 inch side. On the 5 1/4 inch side, you're going to score an extra score line. Okay, so I'm going to line it up 6, and then I'm going to score an extra 1/4 inch score line. Okay, and then I'm just going to score on my other score lines, just kind of reinforcing them a little bit. Oops. All right, so now we have 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, you have your natural fold, then the 3 that the file folder had, and we added 1 more. So that gives us an inch to go around our album. Okay, so now what you're going to do is fold on these score lines. Okay, and this is what wraps around to the front side of our album. I reinforced the back side of our album. Okay, so now what we're going to do, I'm going to take this off because this part is going to be hid. What you're going to do is this 6 1/2 inch space, this 6 1/2 inch space, we are going to glue this down, and it should fit. Okay, and I'm going to line it up with my, right up against my very last score line. Okay, so it should fit. Okay, because this is our 6 1/4 inch side. This is our 5 1/4 inch side. So 6 1/4, or 6 1/2. I'm sorry. And this is a 5 1/4. And this is piece A. This is piece B. Okay, and this is our 6 1/2 side. And this one is our 5 1/4. Well, yeah, 5 1/4 on this one. This is piece B. This is piece A. Okay, this is our cover. There's our spine right here. Okay, so now I'm just going to get my glue. I'm going to apply some glue all the way around the 6 1/2 inch space. All right. So I'm going to put it up, right up against my score line. Don't go over your score line, just up to it. Okay. Just up to it. Make sure you're all lined up. Okay. And that gives our file folder a little bit more strength. Okay. There we go. Okay, so I would mark this B, this A, so you don't get it confused, okay? All right. So now what we're going to do is take top or a bottom. Okay, it doesn't matter. So let's set this aside. All right. So again, I'm going to trim just to where that file folder starts to round off. Trim that off. Okay. Now I'm going to cut it down to 9 inches. So I'm going to flip it around. Let's cut it 9 inches. Okay. Now what you're going to do is open it up. Cut from the tab side at 6 1/4. Okay, this is your tab side. Short one is the tab. Long tab side would be this one. So from the tab side, we're cutting at 6 1/4. Okay. And this does include the tab. Okay, so 6 1/4. Okay. So 6 1/4. Cut that off. Okay, this is going to be piece C. Okay, now piece D is we're going to cut from the long tab side at 7. Okay, so put this in, put it at your 7-inch mark, and cut it off. Okay, save that piece. Okay, and this is piece D. Okay, so there's piece D. Let's go ahead and let's do E and F. Okay, again, just top or bottom, it doesn't matter. We're going to do the same thing, and when I always do it on the short tabs. Okay, always do it on the short tab. So where that starts to round off, cut her off. Okay, now we're going to cut this one to 10 inches. Okay, so I'm going to cut this at 10 inches. Okay, now we're going to open this up on the long tab side. Okay, long tab side. We're going to cut it 4 1/4. Long tab side, 4 1/4. All right. All right. So this is piece E. Okay, piece E. Now, piece F, we're going to cut from the tab side at 5 3/4. Tab side at 5 3/4. Okay. So this is piece F. Okay. So grab another folder. This is going to be G and H. So where that's, okay. So I'm going to trim this off here at about 3/8. And trim this down to 9 inches. Okay, trim it down to 9 inches. All right. And then we're going to cut from the tab side, long tab. From the tab side, we're going to cut it 5 1/2 inches. Okay, 5 1/2 inches. And you're cutting from the tab, okay? So 5 1/2 inches. Okay. This is piece G. Okay. And then piece H, we're cutting from the long tab side at 5 1/2 inches. Okay. So again, 5 1/2 inches from the long tab side. Okay. And this is piece H. Okay, we'll wait to do, we'll go ahead and get these pieces. Okay, so this is piece B. Okay, so I'm going to set this aside. All right. So get piece C and D. All right, C and D. On piece C, we're going to score at 1/2 inch, 5/8, and 3/4. Okay. I think we do this to both of these. Yeah, we do this. We do the same thing to both of these. So we're going to score at 1/2 inch. And then we're going to score at 5/8. And 3/4. Do this to both pieces, please. Okay. Oh. Score with, yeah, see. Okay, piece C, and that's okay. We can fold towards the other. Piece C needs to be with tab at top. I forgot about that. With tab at top. But we can fold it the other way. Well, here, I'll just reiterate these to go the other way. Well, there we go. Okay, piece D. Doing the same thing, but the tab is at the bottom. Okay, tab is at the bottom. Scoring 1/2 inch. 5/8. And 3/4. So you're scoring every 1/8 of an inch. Okay. Just, that's our guess. We need that gusset. Okay. So now I'm going to apply my tape. Okay. You're applying tape to the 1/2 inch there. All right. Do this to both pieces. Now you're going to fold on your score lines. Okay. So I fold on the last one, and then I fold on the very first one, and then I pinch that middle one. Okay. You can just pinch that middle one up. It just pinches. All right. Get my 1/2 inch back there. Do the same thing to piece D. And I always score with it, you know, underneath me. It just seems to give a straighter line. And you can use glue for this too, but I'm just using score pal tape. I love making file folder albums. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to go ahead and round. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and round these corners. You don't have to. That's, you know, optional. And you can ink all this too, but I'm not inking because it would take way too long to ink all this during class. So this one I'm not inking. All right. All right, piece C, attach to the inside of the cover piece A on the left side edge with the tab at top. Piece C goes right here. Okay, this is our front cover. Goes to the inside right along this edge. Okay. Wow. So there's piece C. Okay, and it does have a gusset. Okay, there we go. All right, piece D. For attaching this to the inside back cover, piece A. This 6.5 inch space is the inside of our back cover. Okay, this is the cover flap. Piece B over here. On the right side, just up to the score line with the tab at top. Okay, so let me get my 1/2 inch. Okay, get your 1/2 inch. Make sure your gusset is up, and this tab at bottom. See, nice. No, that's all right. My tab's going to be at top. I already put the tape on it. Let me let me look to see, because that may, yeah, piece D at the bottom. Yeah, I already put my tape. Flap needed to be on. Needed to be on this side. Well, I think I can get by with that. My paper will cover that. Okay, so I'm just going to refold on my score lines here. I thought I'd done that one right, but apparently I didn't. All right, there we go. So I'll put my tape on here, but I think that piece of tape, it will be covered when I go to decorate it. So I think I'm a-okay. Life of a crafter. Do you make mistakes like that too? So do I. Okay, just your 1/2 inch. Make sure your gusset is up above, right along, just up to your score line. Okay, just up to your score line. Don't go over. Okay. Take your tape off. There we go. Okay, so there's piece D. All right, so grab piece E and F. Okay, E and F. Okay, piece E, okay, piece E, we're going to score 1/2 inch on each end. And we want our tab at bottom, okay? Tab at bottom, piece E, okay? So you're going to score 1/2 inch on each end. Okay, 1/2 inch on each end. Okay, piece F, we're going to score it 1/2 inch and 5/8 with the tab at bottom. So this will be folded and folded. Then we need to cut this down to 9, and then it will be like that. Okay. So let's go ahead and score piece F at 1/2 inch. And then 5/8. All right. So that's for piece F. Now we need to cut it down to 9 inches. Okay. And I'm going to cut my 9 inches, not on the tab side, but I'm going to cut this part off. So I'm going to put this in here, take it down to 9 inches. All right. There we go. So let's get our tape on. All right. I'm going to burnish. Burnishing just gives it a nicer folded edge. This piece, I'm going to stick this on back. Okay. So I'm going to fold on my score lines here. And then fold on my other score line. All right. So I'm going to apply my tape. All right. So just like this, your 1/2 inch, and then piece F, we're attaching it to the back cover, piece A on the left hand side. So I'm going to open this up, and it's going to go on the left hand side, just up to your score line. Don't go over your score line, because you will get resistance with your album if you get into your spine of your albums. Okay, so just up to that score line. Okay, and take your tape off. Yeah, it's easier to see the lines when you ink, but I knew it just takes so much longer to ink. Okay, so now I'm going to fold back on that 1/8 of an inch gusset, because this piece is going to go right here. Okay, and you could do it either whichever way that you want. All right, So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a piece of beaded glue on this edge right here, then on the non-tab side, to close this pocket up. Okay. Just make sure your gusset is underneath. Okay. I'm going to attach it right on top. I'm going to go about 1/8 of an inch away. Okay, about 1/8 of an inch away. Okay. Now we have a pocket. Yay. All right, that's piece E and F. Okay, let's get piece G and H. Okay. All right, so we score these two. So piece G, we're going to score at 1/2 inch with the tab at bottom. Okay, piece G is tab at the bottom. We're just scoring 1/2 inch. Okay, you're just scoring 1/2 inch. Piece H, tab at bottom. Okay, so piece H, both these pieces of tab are, the tab is at the bottom. Okay, and we're just scoring at 1/2 inch. Okay. So now I'm going to apply my tape. Oh, I see what's happening. Because piece G, attach it on top of piece D. Here's my piece D. You see it makes a difference which side of your folio you're putting it on. So we want the tab at bottom, so I'm going to fold the other way because we want the tabs on the bottom. Okay, so piece G attaches right on top of piece D. So piece G right on top of piece D. This is our piece D. Okay, we want the tab at the bottom, so I'm going to fold the other way on it. Tab at bottom. Okay. Okay. We want piece H. It attaches to the inside of the back cover on the left side, just up to the score line with the long tab at bottom. So this opens up, this opens up, and this is going to attach on the left side. Okay. And we want the tab to be at the bottom. All right, so let's add our tape. And then we'll add our tape to piece G. All right, piece G, Well, let's do our piece H first. Okay, so here's F. Here is a piece A, the back side cover. So this is going to go, I'm going to go, I think, about 1/8 of an inch away. Okay, so I'm just going to line it up. All right. Well, me and tape aren't getting along today. All right. Piece D, on the front side of piece D, just be careful, you have a gusset here, so make sure your gusset is underneath, and this is going to attach right on top of piece D. Okay, so make sure your gusset is underneath you. Okay, so I'm going to attach this right on top, right along that edge. Okay. There we go. All right. So now piece G, piece D, piece H, E, and F. So how I do it is this one goes, let's see, D goes first, then H. You could do it either way. Let's see, and this one here, yeah, I have D and G on top, then this one. Oh, I put H on the wrong. Should have been on the right side. It doesn't. It really doesn't matter. You can do it either or. But we have H on this side, and that's okay. So close and close. Yeah, it could be either way. And I apologize for the lawnmower. I told him I was going to be recording. I guess they forgot. All right, so let's get your middle file folder. Okay, your middle file folder. Oh, I did want to let you guys know too. I do have a Let's Get Scrapping tutorial club, and right now I have it at $14.99 for every month. It was normally $19.99, but I had to redesign a new website because my other one, the scammers were just all over it, and they were making fake purchases to see, they was trying to run stolen credit cards on us, what they were doing. And so I had to get rid of it, and I had to start another one on a different platform to where I was more protected. So since I've done that, right now I'm offering the tutorial club, $14.99 every month. You get access to everything that I do, my tutorial club, my page club, and the digital papers that I'm going to be coming up with too. I have over 80 tutorials inside this club. The only thing that you don't get inside this club if I do like a spring fest or a fall fest. But anything that I do, you get access to it, and it's only $14.99 a month. Okay, I will put the link down in the description box. Just click that little more button. If you don't like that one, I do have the Scrapping Guide Club for $9.99 a month, and it's guides only, no video classes. It's just guides. So you get your cutting guide, written instructions, and of all my mini album, folio albums, my project sheets, which are my page layouts and journal with Nessa, and my digital papers. Okay, so the tutorial club will have process videos in it, Facebook Live classes in it, anything that I do. The guide club is guides only. Okay, and sometimes I do inspirational sheets and put them in there for you as well. Okay, so I do have those two clubs if you just happen to be interested in it. But I'll put the links down below, and you can go read more about it if you're interested. Okay? Okay, middle file folder. We're going to cut a little bit off each end, and it's just a little bit over. We're trying to get our folder down to 11, and it's just a little bit past, well, that might be 3/8. Yeah, see, it should have been just it's just a hair past 3/8. Well, I'm just going to go ahead and take it down. There's what I cut off both sides. It's just pretty much right at 3/8, maybe just a hair over. Okay, to cut it off both sides to keep our tab in the middle. Okay, so now what you're going to do is from the tab to the natural fold line, we are going to cut this folder at 5.5. Okay, so 5.5. Okay, 5.5. So now we have 2 pieces. Now what you're going to do is cut this down from the tab at 6.5. Okay, at 6.5. That's where I got those little booklets. Okay, so keep a hold of that. Cut your other one down from the tab at 5.5. Or 6.5, sorry. I hope I cut that right. Yeah, I did. At 6.5. Okay. This is piece I. Okay. So I'll put those up there. All right. So now what we're going to do is see, we need to score these. But see, the tabs are opposite of each other. Okay. So the bigger tab is like this. You can see they're opposite of each other. And then the longer tab is opposite. Okay. So now we need to cut 1/4 inch more off of these. We need to take these down to 5.25. So I'm going to take it off. See this longer tab here? Short tab, longer tab. I'm going to take that 1/4 inch off the longer tab side. Okay. Okay. Do the same thing with your other one. Okay. Longer tab side. Take that off at 1/4 inch. I hope you guys can't hear that lawnmower. All right. So now what we're going to do, we're going to score these at 1/2 inch, but I want to make sure we score them right. Okay, so I'm going to make this one my top one, this one my bottom one. All right. So my long tab, okay, I'm going to score 1/2 inch. And this tab is on this side, right? Okay. So okay, so just like that. Okay, so now our other one should be scored the opposite way, because we want our long tab on this side and our short tab on this side. So yep, just opposite. Okay, so I'm going to score 1/2 inch. Score 1/2 inch. All right, so that's my top one. Let's do our bottom one first. Okay, so I'm going to get my tape on. All right, now we can fold and burnish. Okay, I do round my corners. This one's a little bit harder to get. Okay. And these are going to attach one at bottom, one at top, centered from side to side. All right. So here's piece C opened up. These are going to go right here. This is the inside of the front cover. Okay, inside of the front cover. So I'm going to attach my little tab first, and you're going to center it in between your score lines. Okay, you're going to center it, which is about 1/4 of an inch. Okay, stick it in. Now the next one, the one with the long tab, is going to go right on top, about 1/8 of an inch away. Okay, about 1/8 of an inch away. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing to the top, but I want, you know, it's opposite. It's opposite. So the little tab over on this side, the bigger tab on this side. Okay, so let's get our tape. But yeah, the tutorial club, I mean, it's, if you ask any of the ladies, and they love it, because they get, I mean, there's some tutorials in there that I've never released. You do get my digital papers. You know, everything that I make goes inside this, my box account. So it does run through my box account. And I will, you know, if you sign up for it, I do send you an invite to that. So now I'm just going to round my corners. And a lot of times you get them, you know, before they're even published. They may be inside a box for a month before I ever publish them. All right, so let's fold and burnish. All right. So I'm going to just flip mine around. Well, maybe I can do it this way. Okay. So I want the short tab on the left-hand side, and I'm going to line it right up with my other ones. Right along the top, take my tape off. Okay. The other one goes right on top, about 1/8 of an inch away. That one needs... There. Okay, about 1/8 of an inch away. All right, that's all our pieces. Now we just have leftover pieces now that we want to get put on here. Okay, so leftover pieces. So we need a 3-inch tab piece. These pieces here, one of them we use, and I think it's this. Nope, can't be that one. It's the one that's cut down to 10 inches. Yeah, this piece here. The one that is 10 inches, okay, natural fold line. The one that is 10 inches, we use that one. These here, you can cut these up for photo mats. Okay, let's find our tabs. Tab. Our pieces, you know, that we cut off. All right. So 3-inch. We need a 3-inch one, a 3 1/4, and 2 1/4. So 3-inch. There's our 3-inch. 3 1/4. So okay, so that's fine. So 3 and 3. So I'll change that on the cutting guide. So 3 inches. All right. So now one of these is going to attach to the inside of the, right here, piece C. Piece C, okay? The one that is 3 inches is going to attach with the tab at bottom, okay? Now you can choose to round your corners. I choose to round my corners. Okay, so tab at bottom, gluing just 3 sides. Now I'm not going to glue mine yet because I don't have my paper picked out. Okay, so whenever I decide what paper I'm going to use, you need to put your paper down first before you attach this. Okay, excuse me. So you just glue 3 sides, and that goes to the inside of piece C. Okay, the other 3-inch one, okay, attached to the top of piece G. Okay, right here's piece G. And it is, okay, so piece G, I attached it with the tab at top. Okay. Okay. So you want this tab here to be at top. Okay, again, you're just gluing 3 sides to form a pocket. Okay. So this will go here. Okay, just, you know, right along the edge. Okay. Now the one that is 2 1/4, I think I cut this one down. Attached to the back side I have 2 of these attaching to the back side of piece C. So that's not right. So we got one here. Actually, that's the 2 1/4 inch one. Okay. The 2 1/4 inch one goes here. What do I do with it? Yeah. Okay. So this one goes here, and I cut it down to 2 1/4. Okay. So 2 1/4. Oops, I was cutting my tab off. That wouldn't be good. And you don't even have to cut that off if you don't want to. Okay, so with long tab at top. Okay, long tab at top. I was reading my instructions wrong. The bigger one goes on this piece here. Okay, so the other one goes here. Okay, this is that piece B. This is the piece that we attach to the back side. So this piece is going to go here. And what I do is my other paper clip. There it is. Okay, so inside the cover flap, this is what I call this, is the cover flap. Okay, and again, you just glue three of the sides. Okay, you're gluing 3 of the sides. This one, it's to the inside of the cover flap. The other 3-inch one went on top of piece G with the let's see, tab at top, tab at top, tab at bottom for this one. I was thinking it was different. Okay, tab at bottom. Okay, tab at the bottom. All right, now I did round this corner here because a rounded corner will take a beating so much better than a straight corner. So your 3-inch one, tab at the bottom. Your other 3-inch one goes on top of piece G with your tab at top. And your 2 1/4-inch one goes to the inside of piece C with your long tab at top. Okay. So that is our file folder album. Now, these pieces here, these little booklets, you can put them inside your pockets. Oh, do we have one more piece? We have one more piece, guys. I forgot. We have one more piece. All right. So that one piece that is 10 inches, I believe it's this one. Yes, the one that is 10 inches. It needs to be 2.5 by 10. And this piece is going to attach backside of piece D. Okay, so here's piece D. It's going to attach to the back side of piece D. Okay, so let me show you here. The whole thing needs to be, 2.5, and then the bottom one is 1 3/4 inches. Yeah, those are all 9 inches, so we can't. So we'll cut this down manually. All right, so leave your natural fold line. Okay, leave your natural fold line, and you can use either or side. It doesn't matter. Well, I'm going to do the shorter side. Okay, from the natural fold. Okay, the shorter side. I'm cutting it down to 1 3/4 inches. Okay. And then the bigger side goes down to 2.5 inches. Okay. So I'm going to place my natural fold at 2.5 inches. Okay. So you have that. The shorter one is 1 3/4 inches. The bigger one is 2.5 inches. All right. So now what you're going to do, you're going to put this in your scoreboard. And we're going to score 1/2 inch on each end. Okay. 1/2 inch on each end. Okay. 1/2 inch on each end. We're making a double pocket that has the full range. So now on this natural fold, what you're going to do is cut at an angle right up to that score line. Okay, do that on both ends. This reduces bulk. All right, so these shorter piece, these are going to fold in. And then that's going to attach. Then these are going to fold in on both sides. And then see, now we have full range pocket. Okay, full range and a full range pocket. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to burnish this piece. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue the shorter ones. Okay. I'm gluing the shorter ones down to the big one. Okay. All right. So now what you need to do is grab your folder again. This piece goes on the inside of piece D right here. So what you need to do, make sure it fits. Now I'm going to glue each flap, and then I'm going to put a bead of glue right along the bottom to seal it up for a pocket. So I'm adding glue to my flaps. And then I'm going to add a bead of glue right along this bottom. And I do about 1/4 of an inch. I want to make sure it stays down. Okay. Just up to that, I'm not even quite 1/8 of an inch. I'm just kind of just a hair away from my score line. Okay. Give her a good burnish. See, this way we have full range. That's what I mean by full range. Okay, if you glued, you know, all 3 sides, then you would lose, you know, like half an inch on each end. Okay, so that's what I mean by a full range pocket. And I've done these many times with our file folder albums that I've done. I've done a lot of file folder albums. I love doing them. All right, so now you have little booklets. So these here, you can make tags out of these if you wanted to. Okay, you can make tags out of these because we do have several of those pieces left. Okay. And then here, you know, you've got nice, when you cut that one, could just cut it in half and then you have a booklet. I like that idea. I am going to do that. I'm just going to cut this in half. So this is 9 inches, so 4.5. And this will be a neat little booklet. You got something peeking out and a little flip. So there's 2 little booklets. This one here, oh yeah, we could cut this in half as well. 9. You could add photo mat, you know, that sticks out like just, well, you know, a photo mat. That'd be neat. So there's another little booklet that can go in our pockets. And you can make tags out of these or just, you know, throw them away. Okay. Or, you know, save them. You never know. You might use it for something. Okay. So let's do a little walkthrough of our album. Okay. This is it. We're done. We are all done with this album. Okay. So there's piece C that folds in. And then piece B is our cover flap. Okay, so you open it up, you have piece B here, you have a little tuck pocket here. Okay, and this is our front cover, so that opens up. There's piece C. That opens up. You have a little pocket here. Then we have a little waterfall aspect here. Okay, so these, both of those flip down. Oh, this is so cute. So cute. So then here we have a little pocket. Opens up. We have a double pocket right here. We have a nice pocket right here. And a flap. Now, piece H in my original one was on this side. Really, it doesn't matter which side that you put it on. Okay, but these two here will fold in, then this, then this. Okay, so just like that. Okay, so piece C folds in, then our front cover, then our flap. And I used ribbon for mine. I just put the ribbon underneath this B flap when I decorated it with paper, and my ribbon just wraps around to my, it's elastic ribbon is what it is, and I love it. I got it at Walmart, but I love it. It's elastic. And then I just tuck it underneath there, and now my album is all nice and tidy. So that is our National Scrapbook Day project, guys. What do you think? What do you think? So don't forget, you can purchase this if you would like to have the, the cutting guide right beside you. Okay, so you can purchase that. If you want all three projects that I'm doing, this one I'm not making this on my Facebook. We're just decorating it. But if you would like to have all three projects, then you can purchase the bundle for $14.99, or purchase $8 for the National Scrapbook Day, and you get both file folder albums. Okay, so if you have any questions, please ask down below. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you have a great National Scrapbook Day weekend. I hope you have big plans. There are so many other people that are doing National Scrapbook Day. Just, yeah, have fun, guys. Have fun with it. All right. All right. That's all I have for you. Have a great day, and we will be talking to you guys later. As always, keep scrapping. Bye-bye.